to a different window. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Live.
We are live with Kim Coleman today on our open office hours. We will be talking about multi-site networks and using Paid Memberships Pro in that multi-site environment. If you submitted a question previously, shout out that you're here. Let us know. That way we can definitely get to it. If not, we will be responding via email later. Just because this one can be a little bit more on the complicated side.
That is so true. Yeah, and there's decisions to make when you're considering using a multi-site network, using WordPress in that way. So I think I want to start by giving an overview of what a multi-site environment is and talk about the three main ways that you can use Paid Memberships Pro in multi-site. And then we're going to do one of the, we have two add-ons for multi-site. We'll go through one add-on and then we'll break and do some questions. And then if we want to do the other version, we can do that too. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. So I'm going to put this link in chat just so everyone can see it. If you want to bring my screen up, Sam. This is like the WordPress developer resources guide about multi-site. And it's a good place to start if you aren't really sure what it means. But basically, a multi-site is one installation of the core WordPress files in your web host. And then in your database, there's going to be different database tables for every subsite in that network. It can make things, you have like a network administration panel that's different than you would see in your own WordPress site's admin. It's kind of the next tier above. From that panel, you'll be able to see, I can go to it now, just to give that overview. There's something called network admin. Not what you usually see here. You see a new tab called sites. The users of all of the sites are managed in one table. So there aren't different users table across all the sites. It's more just how the content and settings of the sites in the network are handled. So all of the users will be visible at that main network site. It's called the main site of the network. You can have themes for your whole network and they can be enabled to everyone throughout, or they can be disabled. So if you don't want people using certain themes, you wouldn't install them or you wouldn't network enable them. I have some basic WordPress themes installed here too. You also manage all of the plugins for the multi-site from a central location. So you're not installing plugins just on the subsites, you're installing them at the main network site level and then either activating them singly on subsites in the network or network activating them. And we'll talk about what that means and concerns around that. The settings page, just of how your network is set up, the main site's network name, the main site's email, details about registrations, and then this is kind of just sets up for you in by default in the background. So that's kind of an overview of that network admin. There'll be a new user role also in the sites called the super admin, super administrative permissions across the whole network. The super admin can change who has access to different sites in the network. They can add themselves to subsites and go into the single sites administration panel, which in a single WordPress install is what you're probably familiar with in that screen. So there, only people with that super admin privilege can get to a view of everything that you're seeing here on my screen. So how does that relate to your membership site? This is our main post that talks about the three ways I'm going to go over briefly at the start of this presentation. So Paid Memberships Pro, you know, it's a membership plugin. It deals with users. It protects content in the site. So it's pretty complex of a plugin in itself. And when you add on the complexity of multi-site, there's really important things you need to be aware of. So Paid Memberships Pro itself should never be network activated. We saw that in the plugin screen, network activate. It won't let you network activate it. You can activate it individually on each site in your network. So if you were just using a subsite to give yourself like a central place to manage a few different membership sites you run, and they all have a different domain name, you can put Paid Memberships Pro on each one. I have one that kind of I use for friends and family who need different things, and I have Paid Memberships Pro on some of them, and I have Give WP on another site, and just a plain WordPress on another. So I'm using the network just to make it a central place for me to manage all the plugin updates, all the theme updates. the core WordPress version updates, and then I'm really just operating each site individually. They don't have to talk to each other. They live on different domain names. They're all just distinct web properties. So that's the first way you can use Paid Memberships Pro, is just like you're using on a single install, activate it on a subsite. The next way to use Paid Memberships Pro, I'm going to demo after I talk about it, is creating subsites and managing membership access from that main site, and giving people different access to different things across your subsites. But still, all the membership levels are on your main network site. They're managing their accounts, they're doing their checkouts, they're updating their billing. All of the email about their membership is sent from the main site. How you set up your levels and pricing is all on the main site. But then on the subsites, you can create content and restrict it by those membership levels. So this is one we're going to go through how that works. But I recommend this setup if you wanted to have, if you were like a large association and you wanted to have courses separate of like community interactions. Maybe you wanted to use a different theme slightly on each one. Maybe you wanted to give like a really focused learning experience and take away some of like the menu and the complexity on that education portal, but you still wanted to have one central user database, one central place that people are paying you, and manage that all administratively in one site, but then create unique experiences in each subsite. Maybe your directory sits on a different subsite. That's the best add-on to use for that. And the third way we'll demo after a little QA break is giving people subsites in your network that they can run and manage themselves. So this is like a classic like hosting. Let's say you wanted to host sites, you wanted them all in one network, and you wanted them to be able to create a site on the network for them. I've seen this used also in like education and schools where all the students get their own subsite to play with. Let's say you were doing like WordPress training and you wanted everyone who took your course to also get a site that would be their kind of playground for the course. You could use this for that. I've seen people like smaller agencies have used this to sell a website and kind of gets maintained. They can be a part of, they can log in and help their customer set up their site and work with it. But it really is that person's unique WordPress site. And then it's all under that one umbrella of the network. So that's the third way. And we'll demo that at the end of
that way. Sounds like the best way. We had a question about setting up an association chapter website. So like off the top of my head would be like you know, my husband's fraternity, you know, he has like a chapter at all the different colleges or things like that. And this sounds like that would be the best way to manage those individual chapter websites.
Yeah, with this one, the subsites can set up their own Paid Memberships Pro installs. So you have the main network site, they check out, they buy a chapter site, the chapter site gets created, and then in that subsite, they can have their own membership set up with their own payment gateway credentials, their own membership levels, and people can complete checkout within that environment of that subsite. So people do set it up that way, and you can still use Paid Memberships Pro on the subsite for its own unique membership experience. Yeah, cool. All right, should I pop over? Anything, questions right now coming in? We're all good? All right, I'm going to go through the
really
first.
Quiet today.
Everybody's quiet. Okay, don't worry. Am I scary? All right. We're going to go through setup of that first one, which is all of the memberships are managed at the main site, and then access is unique at the subsites. So all I have here, I'm not using the Must Love Dogs one. I'll talk about why later. It has to do with default themes and subsites. But I just set up Paid Memberships Pro. I have one membership level in the site. It's called Supporter. And as far as like pages and content in this site, I just generated the default Paid Memberships Pro pages on activation. I'm using the 2024, I think. Is it 24? WordPress theme. So really nothing's customized here yet. So what I'm going to do is set up the multi-site membership. Oh, I don't have a license key installed. Hold on. Let me get a license key.
While you get a license key, New Solutions was saying we have to speak to how to isolate membership plugins based on the last setup. And we will go over that a little bit later in the open office hours. So just hang tight.
Okay. Now, I think we should be able to do this now. Okay. Yes, we have a key. Okay. So multi-site membership, manage memberships at the network's main site. That's the site we're on right now. And provide and restrict access on subsites in the network. And I just made a screw up because I'm not supposed to activate this here. Okay. Okay, my main network site, multi-site membership add-on, pay memberships pro. I'm going to create another membership level just so we can see how things go. What do we want to call this? Is that how you
Kim,
spell
what
that?
version of PMPro are you using right now?
I am on 3.0. This is I've been wanting to do this on our demos because I think it's also like that second tier test that our 3.0 version. So this looks slightly different. We're hoping for March 20th, March 21st to release this to everyone, but it won't, I don't think it'll look that much different from what your sites are doing. Do you think I'm going to confuse people with that, Sam?
No, Rip was asking.
Oh, okay. This is 3.0. I know, version 2.999999. Silly. Okay. So now we have 2 membership levels. I'm going to create another site. Let's see, what are our sites here? Let's make another one. We'll call it directory. What? Oh, actually, what is my user's email address? I wish it just populated. I thought it used to do that. Huh? Oh yeah, there it is. Never mind. It does. You just have to try harder. Okay. And let's make another site. And we'll call this one community. Okay. So I'm using that example I suggested, which was like, I'm a large association and I want to have a unique directory area and I want to have a unique community area. So that's how we're going to set this one up. Okay, so we have 3 sites in the network. We have 2 membership levels at the main site. One more thing I know I have to do is adjust. Oh, I have to add my second level here. This is a new block coming in the next version of Pay Memberships Pro that lets you kind of place different elements of your pricing table within it and move things around. So like if I wanted to put my button above here, I could do that. So we'll have more videos about this later, but it's going to make building pricing pages a lot more exciting on the next version. So we have our supporter and we have our ambassador tier. Okay, so our main site's kind of set up to accept memberships and signups. What happens on those subsites? So we're going to go into our association directory site, right? And in the subsite, we want to activate, do we want to activate both? Now I get an error. Hold on. Great.
A fatal error.
I got a fatal error. I think we want to activate both. I don't know why I'm getting that error though. I'm on the main site again. Oops, I don't want to be on this one. I want to be on my subsite. Association directory. Why? PMPro get crons. Did I activate? Oh, I activated before I was supposed to. Hold on. I activated in the wrong order. That's a bug we should be able to fix, guys. Take a note. You must activate. Which one was it? This one? All right, let's go to this one. I haven't used this one in a while. Here. Can you deactivate plugins from this? I'll have to do it in my folder. Hold on. We're gonna remove it. I thought you could deactivate plugins from the multi-site with PMPro. Okay, we're gonna do this. That one works.
And this is one of the reasons why when we started, I said this can get a little complicated because it does matter the order that you activate it.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's the issue here, but let's see. All right, plugins. Okay, that's the activate. Okay, let's activate Paid Memberships Pro first. And now I did the hacky, like, change the folder name thing, guys. All right. Okay.
So you're
now
activating
these are both
it first on the subsites and then the main network?
So on the subsites, I activated Paid Memberships Pro first, and then I'm activating the multi-site membership add-on. This is our directory site, association directory, and then this is our association community site. I'm going to do the same thing so I don't screw us. plugins, multi-site membership add-on. Okay, so now we're following along. We have our directory site. Why don't we change the color of these so that we know which ones are which? What color is an associations directory site gonna be? Let's make it reddish. This will just help us know what we're working in where. We'll make this one blue. Okay. We're doing good, guys. So that's our community site. I am using multi-site in what's called the subdirectory. So you'll see my URL if you can see it. I think it comes through in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's like our main domain and then slash and then like the folder name I used when I created the site. You can also set this up where every site in the network has a unique domain name, or you can do it as like a subdomain setup, which would be like directory.multisite.PMPro local. So you can choose how you set that up. That's like a multi-site thing. Go back to that how to set up a WordPress network for help with that. But yeah, if you wanted to use custom domains for every site in the network, or if you wanted to do like the subdomain, like courses.domain.com, directory.domain.com. Some people like to do it that way. I just did it as a subfolder. Okay.
Speaking of domains, does it work with 2 different domains?
It will work with 2 different domains. However, people won't be like stay logged in both versions because the cookie gets set for the primary domain. So I would only do that if you really have to. If you really want people to be set up this way where they get different access across, you're better off doing the subfolders like this because the cookie will be persistent for their login across like that whole session. Otherwise, if people jump from, kimscoursessite.com to kimsassociationsite.com, they're going to have to re-log in. Even if they have one membership level, one username, one password, they'll have to log in and authenticate again. So,
which can create some friction for your
yeah,
members.
I've seen people try like hacky things and plugins and systems that kind of like recognize like a global site cookie. I'm not familiar enough with that. If anyone has a resource that they've used that helped cross-domain login in a network, share a link in chat. But I think that gets messy and it's hard. You need a distinct SSL for each one, even though SSLs are free. When you set it up this way, the SSL kind of acts from the primary domain as a wildcard across all of them. With separate domain names, each one needs its own SSL installed. Okay, but really important if you're selling sites to people, it's like, Kim's Yoga Studio, Sam's Pilates Studio, they would want their own domain names in that way. Sorry, it's going to be a squirrely demo because there's so much to talk about. Okay, so now I want to just kind of demonstrate the power of how this works. So here in the associations directory site, I can add a new post, and this is like, new directory members, let's say. Yada, yada. I had a lorem ipsum open. But now what I can do, this is that subsite for directories. I didn't do any membership setup of Paid Memberships Pro, but I still have the require membership settings, and it recognizes the 2 levels that I created in the main network site. So what I'm able to do with this is it looks up at the main network sites tables and says, what are the membership levels we need to check? And it knows we have a supporter and an ambassador. So I can create content in these subsites just for those membership levels, and it still gets protected. I don't have a membership level in I probably do have a membership level in the site, actually. Let's see. Did I get one? No. Oh, I'm viewing with access. So look, we screwed ourselves with this. This is a new setting too. We always have to remember how that works. A new setting coming in PMPro 3.0 for admins is that you can view the site with and without membership without having to log out or log in as a different user or view your site in incognito mode. So I'm putting it back to my current levels so that I don't get confused. So you see this post, it's being protected for people of the membership levels that were at the main network site area. And we could do the same with the directory site. We don't have to demonstrate that. So when people sign up, they're always going to come back to the main site to do their signups. They can choose membership levels here. I'm going to choose this supporter level. And then if they would be, depending on how you have the navigation work, they can come back and then they'll be able to access content throughout the network. So courses, you could set up Lifter LMS on a subsite, set it up to protect courses by membership level, require the memberships, just like we did for this post. And the same thing, if you had a directory, you could say these membership levels IDs get included in the directory, or these levels get these fields, and it would always look up to the main site for that access and that permission to be in your directory. So I can go deeper on this one, or we could pause for a few questions about this type of setup. What do we want to do?
We do have a few questions, so let's dive into those real quick. Neil said, from a PMPro point of view, is there any difference between subdomain or subdirectory setup?
Nope. It doesn't. You can set up either way for PMPro Pro. Either setup would work for how this one is configured. You could even set it up this way and do those separate domains, but you'd have those authentication and login issues. So I can't think of anything that gets screwy with that. Sometimes the subdomain is a little easier to tell where you're at, just with the URLs and stuff.
Ryan, is login cookie persistent for subdomains?
I think that it is. I think that it should be. I don't know. We could try. How could we try that? Wonder if I can switch in the middle. If we break our whole setup, we won't mind, right?
Nope.
Define subdomain install false. So we just probably have to say true, right? Let me find. I'm going to be in another little window. Finding the site files, app, public. If anyone knows with certainty, I always like to test everything because I'm going to say subdomain install true in my WP config. I have it open in my editor. So let's see. I'm logged in to the main site. Let's see. Network admin sites. Don't you think if I do this, it'll work? I might just get really confused. No, it just got really confused at me. Maybe it has to be done. Let's create a new one. Sites, add a new site. The beauty of local setups. Let's see, does it keep me logged in? It doesn't like anything. Oh, you know, it might just be a caveat of how I set up local tools. I have another multi-site setup. Is there another question and I can start noodling it while I this one set up that way?
Possibly.
No,
so Ryan also had another question. Does the join now button direct users back to the main site? I think this was when you were on the directory page.
Yeah, that was something I was going to demo. I'm just getting local to make a new site. Subdomain multi-site. If we get local working behind the scenes for us. Is this a, yes, subdomain. Local just didn't like that we did that. Okay, let's put this back. Okay, all sites. Get rid of this one. Putting it back. Delete this site. Okay. Okay. So the login links on the subsites, that's the question. Where did I make that post here? Okay.
There's like a join now link and a login link.
I'm going to use the view without access to show us that. Okay. So this join now link. Right now, this link is relative to the subdomain of the site. We want to fix this and make this easier to resolve. But right now, what you'll want to do is deactivate the multi-site helper on your subsite and then go to Settings Advanced. And you'll adjust these messages. These get stored in the database of the subsite. So right now, there's really not like a straightforward way for us to override them. We have some ideas, and these are add-ons we want to work on for sure to improve that experience. But if you can adjust these, you just want to point these at the main site's URLs rather than using these replacement variables. So let's grab those links for this site. It is this. And you can do it relative or you could do the full URL, whichever you prefer. So that join link should be this. This levels page URL should be our main sites link. Our main sites login page is this. And that's it. So let's save that. Now we're going to go reactivate the multi-site helper. And we're going to go back to our announcement post. And now the join link is going to take us to the main network sites levels page. So to get access to the settings on the subsite, that helper, the multi-site cannot be on the multi-site membership add-on that was active. So deactivate it, adjust your advanced settings, reactivate it. The same is true for your advanced settings for how content is filtered. You want to adjust that while you're on the subsite with access to that settings page. It's definitely something we're working on, but the workaround's pretty quick if you're able to do it, just to fix that up and get it. It still pulls the right level names, so you can use that replacement variable. It's just the join links would be relative to the subsite, which is a really bad thing. So that's how you fix that. I'm going to put my access back just so we don't get confusion. We've all been getting confused internally. We're talking about pulling that feature, but it is useful. It's just you have to remember to peek at it if you're seeing things that you're like, huh.
Yes.
What was I doing? I was building a new site, right? I got it up.
We're trying to do some of the cookies.
Cookies.
Nom,
Okay.
nom, nom, nom.
Nom, nom. So this is our, we don't have to install Paid Memberships Pro to get this to work. We're going to set up a subdomain site. Okay. So our question is, do I have to log in if I go here? Oh, don't tell me this one doesn't like us either. I wonder if this is just a caveat of local, guys. Like it doesn't like, because it has to write to my computer. You know, we're going to test that one later and we'll add a comment or something to the video. I think because local sets up, like it registers domains in my, like files on my Mac, that it just doesn't like it. I don't know. It's just not even letting us access subsites. So, okay. Abandon that test.
Couple more questions. Why don't you offer a done-for-you service for PMPro clients who don't have a web developer or admin who knows how to use PMPro?
It comes up a fair bit. We did years ago have one. It was challenging. We didn't have everything figured out when we were doing that. Yeah. Sometimes we bring it back up and then we remember like the struggles we faced when we did it years ago. And when we talk about doing it now, we talk about doing it for very specific niches, whether that's e-learning, whether that's like fitness coaching, just for associations. It's a lot easier for us to design a service like that if we think about it in the context of these people all need all these same things. So, yeah.
Yeah, so many membership sites are so unique that it's our business model right now is not set up to accommodate the uniqueness of the individual.
I thought about all different ways to do. I thought about like a cohort. We all work together every week or something, and we're getting ramped up together. The hard part is that handoff. So done for you to get to the setup point, and then we need to hand it off. Yeah. I don't know.
But I also don't know if we had a service like that you would save money versus a web developer.
That's true.
So if money is the idea behind like wanting someone like our company to do it versus a web developer, you might be better off with a web developer. Yeah. But we don't offer anything like that anyway. So
we'd be the best suited to do it. I mean, I can pretty quickly set something up. So it's tempting at times. But then when I remember how much struggle we had doing it, you know, maybe it would be better if we tried it again. I don't know. Good question. Not a great answer. I'm sorry.
If I had a subdomain, which can be managed.
Oh, my headphones just cut out.
Subdomain could have another theme. I want my community. I want to have a community, but this theme from Buddy Boss cannot work with my old theme.
Yeah, you can totally have a different theme on different sites in the network. So this is us in our directory theme. We can activate 2023 on this totally different theme for each subsite, whether you have subdomain or subfolder install. Every subsite can have its own complete look and feel.
Perfect. Patrick said, I think this may work with my fraternity, but to confirm, we could have the central multi-site, but also have regional sites and local membership sites, all with unique domains.
Yep. When we've helped people do this in the past, the issue you get when you set it up, and we didn't demo that add-on yet, the third way, which is the subsites, buying a subsite. The main network site doesn't know what membership levels all of the users are. Like, it doesn't create a central membership database. It has a central users list of all users in the site, but it wouldn't give them a central membership overview. So if your fraternity's parent organization requires that, you'd want to use this add-on instead of, because I know Sam mentioned, this could work for the fraternity where all the subsites have their own memberships. But if you really need the main site to have the membership database and all the levels that people are holding, you would want to use this add-on, and there would just be like a tremendous number of membership levels. So you probably at the main site, you wouldn't set up a membership levels page like this. You would say like, choose your chapter, and it would click over, and that would have to be a hand-built page, and it would say, choose your chapter, Pennsylvania, or I don't know much about Greek life, but you would choose your chapter, and that would take you to the subsites kind of memberships options page, but all of the levels would really be in the main site, which could be a gigantic number of levels. It could be 1,000 levels. It could be 2,000 levels. And then that subsite would have to know the IDs of the levels for their region. And then they'd build their own little pricing page with specific links to buy and join that would take them back to the main network site for that sign up experience. Totally possible, totally doable. It might become like a little untenable, a little wild to manage it that way. But if the main site doesn't need that member record of information, I'm just thinking maybe sometimes there's like join the global fraternity at the global level. That could be the level on the main site. And then the subsite could have its own install of PMPro and then its own offerings just for their region. And maybe the parent fraternity only needs to know, are they in or out? And it's just kind of very simple that way. So I'd have to know more about how the memberships are managed within there, and how complex it could get. We had a GitHub. We helped a large organization kind of stub this out. This is not tested code. This is 7 years old, never used, but it attempted to create like this chapter management instead of levels, which kind of helped this on. So if you're a developer, find this repository and maybe it'll activate, maybe it'll work, but it helped the main site kind of display people by chapter. So yeah, PMPro chapters. But use at your own risk, and we will not support it through support. But it is like an example of how it could work. Did Kim comment, or Mary are like, don't tell them that?
No, actually.
Okay.
Mary's watching, but I don't have any comments of don't do this. Okay.
Just me. Don't do that. No.
Just you. Rip is wanting to know, is it okay to use the current add-ons with PMPro 3.0 release candidate 3? Are there any that we should avoid for now?
The only one that we know is kind of, go ahead. You're still talking.
I was going to say, I can kind of answer the question of our dev team has the last year updated most of our add-ons to be 3.0 compatible. And then Kim is going to show the message there.
Yeah, so every add-on we've updated that has support for multiple memberships. Really, the issue with 3.0 is exclusively that we brought the multiple memberships per user add-on into core. So that was where a lot of our individual add-ons were lacking compatibility. A lot of the add-ons were like, what membership level do you have? Give me one level back, one level per user. That's what I expect to see. And now with 3.0, people can have multiple levels at a time. They can be running a recurring subscription. They can also have this like one-time package they bought. They can a la carte purchase a course. So I could have, one user could have many levels, 5 levels, 100. We don't know yet till people really start using it. So go to the single add-on page. Sam updated all of these and check this message. A green check, they're for sites where people can hold one or more active membership levels. I know limit post views, if you're using that, is only going to work as intended for sites where people can only have one level at a time. So we're thinking of ways to make this multiple memberships compatible, but check that message. That'll help you determine how they work. And I don't think anything's incompatible with the the only one I know that's incompatible somewhat is the one we just demoed with Multisite is our user pages add-on. If you're doing the membership at the main site, access to different things in different sites, like we just demoed, you can't use user pages. It won't create user pages on the subsites. It'll only make them on the main site. So if that's part of your workflow. But I don't think there's other specific incompatibilities for Multisite. You never want to network activate anything in Paid Memberships Pro. You would just activate individually on the subsites that need the features.
And just to be a little bit more clear, I have updated the pages for all of the Paid Memberships Pro written add-ons. Any third-party add-ons where the page says this is a third-party plugin or third-party add-on, I have not updated those. And unless I get confirmation from the creators that I have reached out to, I will not be updating those. Just because we don't want to tell you that it's compatible and then it ends up breaking something. So all PMPro add-ons are updated.
Yeah. We reached out to authors of third-party add-ons to make sure that they're aware of 3.0, and a lot of them are getting back in testing. So probably they're the best suited to ask if it's going to be compatible in a multiple levels environment or not.
Yeah, and then Sensible Senko asked if you could use MMPU with the main site level and then a subsite level, and we just said that it was compatible. So you are good on that front. Just scrolling back through some of the questions.
I know we had pre-submitted questions. So yeah, if you're here and you did and it's not answered yet, post. I'll quick run through the subsites created at checkout option for us, and I'll try to make it quick. So we'll just do a quick run through. This is member network sites. That's that third way people check out. They get a site that becomes their own and they're the admin of it and they can do what they want with it to an extent, right? So I'm just going to deactivate. Well, it doesn't matter what we do on our subsites. Okay, I'm going to install the new add-on. Member network sites. So setup for this one's pretty straightforward. There is a new page you have to generate. It's a page where people manage their sites. So that page is important. And then you also have to edit which membership levels get a site at checkout. Even though both our levels are free, I'll say it's just a feature of the ambassador level. And then you can determine how many sites people get. If you want them to get 1 site, 5 sites, 10 sites, if you're selling like packages to other developers, things like that. 1 is probably the most common. So people who check out for ambassador get 1 membership level. This is the checkout page for the ambassador level. You'll see a new section gets added here called site information. It lets people pick the name of their site. I've seen people set this up where they capture the domain name just as a custom user field. And then they're like, your site will be set up soon, and go later update it. I've seen people really customize it to set it up where that custom domain that they enter gets updated for their site. The only issue with that is that the user has a step they need to take with their domain. So if you're really doing this where people get their own domain name, my best recommendation is some kind of onboarding experience, some kind of onboarding email that gives them the instructions. You have to point your domain to this IP address. We have to wait for it to propagate. And when I see that that's done, I'll update things in your site. So it's really good if you give them kind of that holding period. Things can get really wonky if you let them create the site, start editing it. They're going to be building links that into things and content, let's say, and then when their actual domain name changes to that domain that they want it to be, they'll have to adjust it. I've also seen people set it up where they include the registration of the domain on behalf of the user. That's your choice. When I used to do web development, I never liked being the domain owner. It just felt too overpowered for me as the developer of someone's site to have been their registrant also for the domain name, but I know there are people that like to do that. So let's name our site subsite 1, and we'll call it. So that's it. That's checkout. They get their site immediately. They can immediately manage it, access it, view the dashboard for their site. It's going to use the default WordPress, the first WordPress default theme it finds. You have to do some funny stuff to have it not use a WordPress default theme, but we have some code recipe I don't think we'll get to because this is going to be a 5-hour stream if we do that. But the site's automatically created for them. It shows them that they've used their site credits, and it gives them a portal through their membership account page to access their managed site links, view their site information, visit their page and on the front end, and then visit the admin area of their site. Some people are probably wondering, like, what happens if they stop paying me? If they cancel their membership, it'll deactivate the site that was created for them. We can look at that in the admin. I canceled my membership here. So if I go into sites, it's still there. It's supposed to deactivate it. That might be a bug we want to look at. Did it cancel me immediately? Yeah. All right, bug to look at. It shouldn't allow me to have that site anymore. What was the page? We'll test that. I don't have a membership level. Oh, but I'm an admin. I wonder if it's because I'm a super admin that I can still access it. It's supposed to deactivate the site on the network. Am I a user of it? It says I'm still a user of it. It could be that I'm admin. Let's try testing it with a non-admin user. I'm going to log out. Oh, hello, click the link. All right, let's try again. Or we'll be saying, developers. It should deactivate the site, but I am using 3.0. So, all right, created my site. I can still activate it. I can still access it. I can edit it. I'm not an admin, so I can't go to like the main site or anything, but I can go back to my membership account page. I can go to my managed sites page. I've used all my sites. Good. Well, let's cancel us. And it shouldn't let me access. Should take this site down. This site is no longer, so maybe it's just because I was an admin. So it did deactivate the site when I wasn't an admin anymore. It might be that. You really wouldn't be doing that when you're logged in as a super admin of the network, but it did in fact deactivate the site. Log back in. And if we go to the network again and sites, you'll see that that subsite 2 was deleted. It will reactivate the site on behalf of the user later if they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, where'd my site go? It's deleted. It really didn't get completely deleted. It still exists. If we come back and we log back in as our subsite 2 user and join again, it'll reactivate my site for me. So I'll be reclaiming subsite 2. Submit and confirm, and then my site comes back to the internet just as it was. So it doesn't immediately delete my content, my files, all the hard work I've done when my account gets canceled or expired due to failed payment, either way. So I know that was a very fast demo, and I can go through any piece of that slower. But that's what happens when the subsites get created, how the people get access to it, and what happens if their account closes, and what happens to their site. So I'm sure there's questions. Maybe everyone's just kind of like, whoa, that was fast.
There's a couple questions. They're
Cool.
not specifically related to what you were just doing though.
That's fair.
Sean had the question submitted previously. Does sign up shortcode plugin work with the social login plugin?
Oh, I misread that pre-submitted question. I read that pre-submitted question as, do they work with the multi-site? Does sign up shortcode work with social login? I think it tries to. I don't know. It's hard. I can't test that one very easily and set that up. I do know that using sign up shortcode on a subsite in the network, it won't work when you're set up so that there's only like the main network site. You'll just want to build your own kind of sign up form or sign up button kind of thing. Go
They
ahead.
do use a multi-site.
Oh, they use a
So
multi-site.
I think they're asking if the three of them work together.
Okay. Social login should work. Our social login. Well, I don't know that I can definitively say yes. It is on my list to do a good social login run through again. I imagine social login will work for the subsites as long as it's a social login plugin you're using. We integrate with a few of them. Is also multi-site compatible. So I'm not sure which are you using, Nextend or Super Socializer. Let's check. Are these multi-site? So this Super Socializer says it's multi-site compatible. This one does not, at least in the README, if I try to quick search.
They're using Nextend.
Okay. Let's see. Google. Yes, social login is multi-site compatible. Nextend social. So they say they are. So potentially, yes, you could use it at on subsites in the network to do a login experience. I haven't tested it. No, it should work. Since all the registrations are happening at the main network site, all this logic that we have where it puts like the social login on your checkout page or applying a default membership level as part of a social login, all of that would work. I'm going to assume that that would work. Sign up shortcode, on the other hand, you would not want to place this shortcode, activate this plugin on a subsite in the network. You'd want to just do that. Well, we could test it. I'm 99% sure that one's not going to work on a subsite in the network. Bliss. We can try. Well, I'm still logged in as someone else. Let's log out. Okay. Dashboard. Plugins. Oh, go here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we'll go to a community directory site, let's say. All right, we're going to see. I set up the sign up shortcode on a subpage of a subsite in the network, and I set it for level ID 1, which is the main network site's membership level. I don't know if this is going to work. I doubt it. What do you guys think? No, it just takes me here. Yeah, because I think it's trying to submit to the main site. So that one is not compatible with the multi-site membership add-on. You could certainly put like just build your own kind of like checkout, call out thing with a button, and that button could go to the main site for checkout, but you can't have people doing the actual sign up as part of the subsite. That's probably something we could fix. I wonder if there's like an issue. I don't know if that would be super complicated to level selection. No. Yeah, no, it was worth a test. I wonder if it really made the person though. I can't stop putzing around here. No, it didn't even make a user. Okay, no dice.
Okay. The person that was asking about why we don't offer the services to build is asking if anybody watching this is a PMPro expert that would like some extra work. I did drop the developers link from our website.
Cool.
That way you can reach out to those developers that we do recommend.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I hope you find somebody.
Yes.
Fortunately, that's all we can offer.
Yeah. Fun.
Tony, for 3.0, if we have custom code that pulls in the user's membership level, is it going to return an array now?
PMPro, the PMPro has membership. Oh, it pulls in a user's membership level. It depends what function you're using to do that. Because there's two functions. There's get membership level for user, and then there's get membership levels for user. So PMPro get, I think, is it this? It's probably not. It's probably a camel case one. Oh, no, it is. PMPro get membership level for user. It gets like their latest user, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it is a function. It looks like this. I thought so. That's the filter. Let's go to 3.0 branch. It will still return a single user. It'll just get maybe a random one. Sometimes it's the answer is that it gets a random one. This is the other function, get membership levels for user. The first active membership level for a user. So you'll still get a single membership level. You just will get the first active one, which I think can be somewhat random, or it could either be the most recently held one or the most recently registered for one or the first ever one that they've had. You'll get an array if you use the get membership levels for user, which is what we're using a lot throughout PMPro Pro now. To get all the levels a single user holds. So if you plan to use multiple levels, if you're just going to do the one level per user, you don't have to worry about a thing. You know that people only ever hold one level, so you won't have any issues with your custom code.
But if you are going to offer for them to have more than one level,
and you want to get all the data, if you want to get all their data, you'd want to switch to using the get membership levels for user.
Perfect. Going back to the last multi-site demo that you did where I can check out and start my own site.
Mm-hmm.
Sensible Senko says, so they can't make a new site if they cancel and resubmit.
It automatically will reactivate their old one. If you think they want to cancel and sign up and get a fresh site, I don't know. You'd have to have a process in your like cancel thing to like delete the site or disassociate it from them in some way. It's probably possible on user cancel to like not delete the site, but delete the association of the two. But right now it doesn't work that it's like an or. Like, do you want to reactivate your current one or do you want a different one? It doesn't work that way currently. I think custom code is probably possible just to delete the relationship of the two sites. I'll look quickly.
While you look, just because we are getting a lot of 3.0 questions, which is expected the closer and closer we get to release.
Are you going to hint?
I am going to hint. So on March 25th, we are holding to that date. Kim and I will be doing almost all day. It's going to be 2 sessions on Monday, March 25th from the first session is going to be 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. The second session is going to be 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and we will have information on our live event page of what each session is going to hold to get, if not all, of the 3.0 questions answered. Hopefully we can do all of them. But it'll be a deep dive of like what's new, how do things work together, what add-ons were merged into core, how different add-ons are going to be working now that a lot of them can have these multiple memberships within each user. Since Wasenko was that a 24-hour support stream for 3.0, we originally were going to go with that idea. we decided to make our time on air a little bit more manageable, give ourselves a lunch break, and just, we have dogs that have to go out and things like that. So, but we're going to do our best. It's going to be a total of 4 hours that we will be live. So it will definitely be a fun day.
It will be a fun day. We can go longer if we need to. It stores in user meta, which blog IDs are mine. So you could try to clear that user meta on cancel would be the direction I'd give you for the custom code for that. But it stores the relationship in a user meta field. So if at checkout it finds data like that for the logged in user checking out, that's why it does that reactivate thing. So that's kind of the how to get started figuring how to undo that.
Perfect. Ryan has a question. Do gift memberships affect PMPro Get membership levels?
I think they'd still, if you bought a level for someone else, like, because it doesn't actually change your level, will it show up that your gift level? Are you talking about the person who purchased the gift? Probably. It probably shouldn't, because I don't think it's shown. Go ahead.
I think it's one that I marked compatible.
Yeah, I think with
yes, that's right.
Gift memberships, it never actually gives the gift giver that level, so it won't return as an active membership level for that user. So I don't think it's highly unlikely that it'll return for the get membership levels for user function, because that's looking, you can pass it what level statuses you're checking against. But my understanding of gift levels is that it never gives an active membership to the gift giver. So I highly doubt that that would return on that.
Perfect. Unless anybody has any last minute questions, that's all I have.
Is there anything on the pre-submitted that we want to tackle, or are we good? It's like time, so that's okay. Where did I put you? There you are.
I don't know where I am. I get lost easily. Let's see. We answered that one.
Yeah.
I think we've gone over like, the main use cases that someone would help. Someone's asking when the full release is.
Of 3.0?
Yes.
We're aiming for the 20th or 21st. Our team is going on a team trip. Sam, me, everyone you communicate with. We're going to visit our South African team in Cape Town. So we're all going to be there. And then we get home Wednesday morning, the 20th. And I kind of think if Jason's not too jet lagged, we'll go for it on the 20th. If not, the 21st for sure. I can't think of, there's nothing that has come up. I appreciate so many people who are in our Slack, who are giving us feedback and testing things. Really, the release candidate phase has been, teeny tiny nice to haves have been popping up. Nothing that's like, oh, really frightening. But we do know that custom code, someone asked on this call, custom code is a thing. And we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what has been customized in your sites. So we want to be very available and everyone be rested and present to be able to support people as they're updating their sites. If you do have a lot of custom code, all of the release posts are going to say staging site, wait, try it, review your code. What should you be looking for? We're going to try to give some counseling on like what certain functions could be in use on your site that are going to act a little differently now, and things like that. Order statuses is a big thing. A lot of people might have custom reports that are drawn on certain order statuses. But order statuses, we're doing away with the canceled status, which was kind of a very inaccurate way to track subscriptions before we had actual subscriptions table management in Paid Memberships Pro. So we'll share more about that during the live stream on the 25th. But yeah, the 20th or 21st, we're using the release candidate. It's the 3rd version on our live Paid Memberships Pro site. So if you're daring and you want to start now, you could certainly do that. There aren't major changes that I see coming to the upgrade script or like the database update that happens on installing 3.0 release candidate on your site. So it's been on our site for a few weeks now. And we're just loving it. All of our team that has to do account management is just like every day a new feature that they found that streamlined kind of administrating their membership site to us. So we're loving it.
Yeah, it's really nice. Sensible Tango says, can
Long
you give
time.
us a bit of a notice? Yes, there will be emails that will go out. So you can definitely let your clients know. And you can also tell your clients, like, wait to update until you're more hands-on with it as well. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention before we go is the documentation for 3.0 will be updated probably as we're live streaming on March 25th. So we have most of that set and ready to go, but we are going to wait until after that initial push to start updating the documentation. So if you are someone who relies heavily on documentation, give us a week or two after the release so you have that documentation.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Because it's a major version, a WordPress automatic updates, if they are active on your site, it will not trigger. That's my understanding of how auto updates with WordPress work. When it crosses the version 2x to version 3x, an auto update will not happen on your site. But if you're concerned that your host might proactively update it, or just get in contact with them now if you can, and just tell them like you don't feel confident right away upgrading. I know if anyone used EDD or Easy Digital Downloads in the past, they had a large 3.0 release like probably 3 years ago now, to be honest. And a lot of our developer friends who use that for their plugin sales were like, I am not updating, like let everyone else do it. And they waited to like 3.0.1 or things like that. So I'm not advising that. And I don't think you will need to either. But I think we just want everyone to be fully aware of the changes and be ready to handle anything that might be unique about your site after that happens. But yeah.
But we will see y'all after we come back from Africa.
Yeah,
that will be really fun.
It's funny to say.
So yeah, we're going to be back here March 25th for those 2 different live sessions to really deep dive into 3.0, which will be lots and lots of fun. So until then, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.